Coming up on today's Airborne, Boeing regrets the inconvenience, but was warned about battery safety. Kitfox showcases 2 new power plants here at Sebring. And CubCrafters plans for moving forward after a record 2012. Welcome to Airborne on Aero-TV. I'm Ashley Hale. As the worldwide fleet of 787 Dreamliners continues to sit on the ground while investigators probe 2 recent overheating battery incidents, Boeing Chairman and President and CEO Jim McNerney issued a statement saying the company, quote, deeply regrets the impact on its customers and their passengers. The statement reads in part, quote, the safety of passengers and crew members who fly aboard Boeing airplanes is our highest priority. Boeing is committed to supporting the FAA and finding answers as quickly as possible. We are confident the 787 is safe, and we stand behind its overall integrity. We will be taking every necessary step in the coming days to assure our customers and the traveling public of the 787 safety and to return the airplanes to service, end quote. Meanwhile, quoting sources that would speak only on the condition of anonymity, the Seattle Times is reporting that hot chemicals sprayed out of the battery on the 787 Dreamliner that made an emergency landing in Japan on Wednesday. The result was a gooey dark residue left behind that suggests a different malfunction than last week's battery fire in a 787 at Boston's Logan International Airport. While there was no fire in the most recent incident, one of the Times sources said, quote, it's still a problem. There was a significant overheating, end quote. Aviation reporter and blogger Ben Sandilands writes in Plane Talking that Michael Leon, while employed at Securaplane, who provided battery assemblies for the 787, wrote a report warning that the battery technology planned for the 787 was a safety issue and urged the use of an alternate technology. The 787 batteries are made by GS Yuasa of Japan, and its manufacturing process is almost certainly going to become a part of the investigation. It's a long way from Idaho to Sebring, Florida, but Kitfox brought 2 of their airplanes to the LSA show and reportedly had a lot of fun flying them to Florida. Tom Patton talked with Kitfox's John McBean about the Rotax 914 turbo option for the company's SLSA, as well as the new 912 IS injected engine currently in flight testing.
We flew the IS from Idaho down here as part of the flight test program for the new fuel-injected IS. The engine's been running very, very good. It's remarkably smooth and very fuel efficient. We're running very high RPMs for cruise settings, which we don't normally do high RPM stuff, but we also have the 914 turbocharged light sport with us as well. And he was running lower RPMs. I was running higher RPMs to keep up. And even at the higher RPM settings for cruise, we're burning less than 4 gallons an hour. So it's been very efficient and operating very well.
How does the engine compare to the standard Rotax 912?
Well, time will tell. The ULS, we've got thousands and thousands of hours behind, so we've got a good history with it. The fuel injected obviously is new. We don't have the history to draw from on it. The installation's different, so we learn there. The starting of it is nice. We don't have the carburetors to deal with. You don't have the balance, and again, it goes back to the smoothness. So there's a lot of benefits that I can see with the IS. Time will tell what we see compared to the ULS. Right now, performance-wise, it's very comparable. The Rotax 914 and the Kitfox, it's a beast. The performance of it is just darn right stellar. It's 1,400 to 2,000 feet a minute climb all the way to 10,000 feet. We're seeing cruise speeds up in the 130 range. And all that on, again, 4.5, 5 gallons, 6 gallons an hour, depending on where you want to set the power settings. So it's performing extraordinarily well. And of course, we operate in the Idaho mountains where density altitude becomes an issue. And with the mountain flying training that we have with our factory-endorsed flight school, Stick and Rudder Aviation, the 914 plays very well into that course so that they can operate longer in the days in the density altitude while still a factor is not that much of an issue any longer. So it allows better training, more takeoffs and landings in the backcountry. So the performance is remarkable.
John McBean, thanks very much for talking with us on Airborne.
It's my pleasure. You guys have a great day.
One of the acknowledged leaders in the LSA industry is still leading the way in terms of innovation and product upgrades. Flight Design USA's Tom Patton tells ANN all about the new Rotax 912 IS options and the addition of ADS-B to the product lineup. Jim Campbell reports.
Tom, on the grounds, midpoint, U.S. Sport Aviation Expo, Sebring 2013. What's new for flight design?
Well, first of all, the Expo looks like it's going to be a great show. It's been great weather and a lot of people are coming out. We have two 912 IS powered CT LSIs on the field here. One is right behind you and the other one's out doing demo flights. And that airplane's equipped with the new Dynon SV ADS-B 470 ADS-B module, and that's a new change for Dynon, and it gives weather, traffic, TFRs, and airport information directly into the aircraft with no ongoing fees.
What's been your experience so far with the IS? As I understand, you've got a half a dozen of them in the field?
We do. We have 6 airplanes, CT LSIs, flying in the United States right now, and the reception's been very good. We've had no trouble with the engine. We're very pleased. We ferried a couple of them down to Florida from Connecticut and confirmed the better than 20% reduction in fuel burn. They start up very easily, and they're very smooth in flight.
Tom, from the 2013 U.S. Sport Aviation Expo, thank you very much. For Airborne, Aero-TV, and of course ANN, I'm Jim Campbell.
Are you ready for the next generation of light sport airplanes? Check out the all-new Bristell. Fun, fast, and easy to fly. Learn more at www.bristell.com. No other aircraft explores the limits of the light sport category more than the Carbon Cub SS. It can land and take off in patches that you thought were accessible only to helicopters and hikers, and it does so with the grace, confidence, and control that are Cub hallmarks. If you thought that light sport was just for budget-minded beginners or for veteran pilots stymied by FAA medicals, you simply must fly a Carbon Cub SS. Check us out at www.CubCrafters.com. Pipistrel's innovative new Alpha trainer has been designed from the ground up for flying school operations. Powered by a Rotax 80 horsepower engine, the Alpha burns only 2.5 U.S. gallons of fuel per hour at 100 to 108 knots, giving you the opportunity to make flight training cost-effective once again. Be sure to check out the Pipistrel Alpha when you're ready to select your next trainer. Get more info at pipistrel-usa.com.
There are some major upgrades coming for the new Bristellusa product line. ANN's Jim Campbell talked with Barry Pruitt about the BRS parachutes, new Rotax options, electronic panel upgrades, and more.
Barry, midpoint 2013 U.S. Sport Aviation Expo, so much going on, especially with the Bristellusa program. Tell us what's new for 2013.
One of the big things today is we have announced that the BRS Parachute 1350 system will be a standard option available on aircraft, so all aircraft will come with a BRS 1350. We've gone to the Advanced Flight Systems and Dynon Skyview system as our base for the ability to expand into the engine options that we've added this year, the 912 IS Rotax, the injected version, and the UL Power 350 IS injected version, which is notable because it's a 130 horsepower version and it is a direct drive engine. So that brings a couple different options really at the forefront this year that are very exciting. It gives us some hot and high capability for the guys out in Denver and the Sierras, that 130 horsepower option, and it'll get us right at the 120 limit.
As I understand it, also you've designated some service organizations.
Yes, sir. We've designated Lockwood Aviation here in Sebring for their experience in LSA and in GA, as well as US Aviation in Denton, Texas, and Air Corps Aviation up in Arlington, Washington. All of these organizations have 20, 30, 35 years experience in aviation, so it's not just LSA. They're used to dealing with all the people in aviation, whether they be old, new, brand new, and I think that's what we need, a good, rounded group of people that can really support the aircraft.
Barry, thanks so much for the update. We look forward to seeing what you do with the next year, and more important than anything else, let's go fly this thing.
CubCrafters had a record year in 2012 and is in Sebring, Florida at the Light Sport Expo with a Carbon Cub fitted with a new cowling for 2013. Tom Patton talked with CubCrafters' Randy Lervold about the modification and what else is new in the airplane.
Well, we're here with the Carbon Cub SS was introduced in '09 originally. We've updated it for 2013. Got one on display here. Features a new cowling for a little more cooling margin, a few different panel options, and lots of other small improvements through the airframe. People that buy airplanes, we get them all. Some people want full glass and some people want basic steam gauges, so over the 4 panels we span the gamut.
When you did some of these tweaks, was that a result of customer feedback or was it just additional research that you did?
Customer feedback primarily, and it's shifting. You know, in the 3 years the Carbon Cub's been out, it's really shifted. Probably half of our business now is in glass panels. 3 years ago when the Carbon Cub was introduced, that was probably 20%. You know, we're always trying to improve the product and sell more airplanes, so it's all about supporting the fleet and keeping up with demand.
Since almost the entire ANN staff is here in Sebring for the USSAE show, including ANN's own CEO and editor-in-chief, Jim Campbell, it should come as no surprise that in preparing for this week's barnstorming commentary, LSA was on Jim's mind. In fact, he's asking, why is the FAA trying to kill LSA?
Hey folks, and welcome to Sebring 2013, the U.S. Sport Aviation Expo. We're happy to be here. It's kind of a slow start. We've got a little bit of weather in the background here that may mess things up a little bit this afternoon. But it's obvious that people are here because, well, they're still dreaming of a sport aviation solution that works for them. But we have this big problem. It's not enough that we have an economy that doesn't work. It's not enough that we have a government that's against us in one form or another on an overall grand scheme of things. But we are hearing tremendously problematic reports from interactions between manufacturers and the FAA just in the last few weeks that leave us to believe that the FAA, either through neglect or by design, is trying to destroy LSA. When a form gets sent back because the signature is outside of the signature box by a little bit, I mean, that's ridiculous. When people are being told that don't matter what the ASTM regs say or what this says or that says, this is the way you're going to do it because I'm from the FAA and I'm going to tell you what I want, then you've got another story entirely. The fact of the matter is this: the FAA is now getting heavily involved in these audits, heavily involved in the paperwork for each individual airplane, and it's no longer a matter of safety. It's no longer a matter of the FAA working in partnership with the LSA community. It's now a matter of showing us how tough the bureaucracy can be. We are seeing paperwork nightmares. We are seeing bureaucratic nightmares. We're not seeing air safety issues. Some of the airplanes in question that I've actually looked over are brilliant. They're beautifully done. They're exquisitely produced. In many cases, they're literally works of art, at least to my mind and my eye, and stuff I would have no hesitation about flying. And in all the cases that have come up so far, once again, paperwork, bureaucratic, and more important than anything else, the FAA showing the LSA community who's boss. Doesn't matter that we have an ASTM consensus. No, you're going to do it the way the FAA wants you to. Not a good thing. We need to work in partnership with the FAA, and if we cannot find a proper partnership with the FAA, we simply need to do without them. Maybe the concept we had with ASTM in the beginning, an industry consensus standard that the FAA could approve and what we could operate, was the way to go. But the FAA's involvement now is becoming overbearing, tiresome, over-bureaucratic, and ultimately destructive. There are people who are supposed to be here with airplanes. They're not here. They've had paperwork held up for months. Months, I tell you. There's a guy out here with $500,000 worth of inventory he cannot sell because he can't get stuff signed up. I don't know about you, but I can't see how these people can do business that way. So, from Aero-News to the FAA, get with the program, help with the program, or get out of our way. We're here to do business. We're here to bring aviation forward. Aviation needs a new entry level. LSA is it. It's the best possible scenario we could have. And the plain fact of the matter is, we're ready to go. Get out of our way. For the Aero-News Network, Aero-TV, and Airborne, I'm Jim Campbell. And yeah, I'm a little torqued.
We'll get real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. I'm Ashley Hale. Thanks for watching.